Heading east, skirting the Silverfish River's bank's northern shore on our new paint horse, we had to pick up in Leeuwen due to an unfortunate encounter with a troll at Tidewater Cave to the south. We see a small bridge leading across the estuary on the other side and spy a gathering taking place underneath a shrine that we presume is to a Daedra. Cautiously crossing the bridge, we stop dead to see a local mud crab pincing the ankles of a barefoot female Nord. As we draw our bow to aid the ailing acolyte, we see the group frozen, not in shock, but in time itself, sniping the cruel crustacean. We turn and spark our torch to see the closest Dunmer mage, Ilvil Romain, and upon further inspection, we deduce he's unconscious or perhaps in some form of standing coma. The same can be said of the rest of the crowd, comprised of Kewin, the Redguard Nightblade, Marin, the Seal, a Nord hunter, Marie, a High Elf healer, and Urtius, an Argonian herder. We then note in our journal, I found the shrine to Peryite, but something is wrong with his worshippers. They seem frozen in time, mindless. None move or speak. You must be level 10 to begin this quest. Approaching the shrine to the dragon Daedric Prince of Pestilence, a disembodied voice appraises.
This one moves. A welcome change. So, mortal, you have found my shrine. And you have seen my followers. They are an embarrassment to me. The fools cast a spell in the hopes of summoning me to them. It was prideful and foolish, and it has had its consequences. My followers are trapped between worlds. Their bodies here on this plane, their souls in oblivion. I would have you reunite the bodies and the souls. I will transport you to the plane of oblivion in which they are trapped. Find their souls. When all are collected, I will return you here. Return to me when you are prepared.
Standing amidst the foolish followers, our quest updates. Peryite has told me that 5 of his followers, in an attempt to get closer to him, have transported their soul to a plane of oblivion. The Daedra would like me to travel there and carry their souls back to this world. I should approach the statue again when I'm prepared to go. Now, before we embark on this quest to oblivion and hopefully gain the Daedra's favour and artifact, it should be noted, thanks to the unofficial wiki, all 5 worshippers in their current state are immobile essential NPCs who regenerate life every time they're close to death. Before you complete the quest, this is a perfect place to train any of your skills. Back one or more worshipper into a corner and hack/cast away at them. Note, though you'll not be able to recover your arrows from them, and casting destruction type spells like shock or flare will cause them to fall over and stand back up, possibly out of place from where they were standing before. There is no one to report your actions as a crime, they won't die, and they won't fight back, and they won't even move. There is unfortunately an unseen cost for this, as if you attack the worshippers excessively, your game may become unstable due to all the unreported zero bounty assaults. This can result in crashes when saving the game, or even when fast traveling. Back to the task at hand, we return to Peryite and accept his invitation to travel to the plane of oblivion where his followers have been cast off. Finding ourselves in a fiery hellscape, complete with rivers of roiling lava and an inhospitable landscape of ash and grey rock, accompanied by accusatory claws jutting out of its surface. It's only then we see a towering monolith to our right and comprehend we are in Mehrunes Dagon's Deadlands and not in Peryite's pits at all. Now, just as an aside, it said even among those mages with the skill and knowledge to travel to the plains of oblivion, Peryite's pits are impossible to enter. This may explain why, when his followers in Cyrodiil attempted to contact him, were their souls ripped into the plains of Mehrunes Dagon's oblivion, known as the Deadlands. Not knowing what the pits look like, it is impossible to tell where these souls are actually trapped. Looking to the south, we then see a plume of smoke and an unknown corpse burning on a spike. To the right stands a lone, glowing figure, and we wonder if Peryite's followers have somehow been drawn to the bonfires or created them as beacons for their rescue. Turning about, we begin heading north to look for a path across the ocean of lava in search of the 5 lost souls. And soon we find in an enclosed arena of sorts, the dead hanging about as trophies. Just below to the southwest, a deadly spider Daedra patrols, and a storm Atronach lies in wait. Deciding to heed the words of an elf we heard once long ago, being discretion to be the better part of valor, we scale the northeastern rocks and spy a spider Daedra sentry, plus 2 formidable humanoid Zivilli blending in below, deciding to give them a wide berth. As we descend lower, a crocodile-like Daedroth comes creeping out of its hiding place, forcing our hand as we snipe it from above, cursing the fact we only had brought a few dozen arrows to contend with an unknown quantity of enemies. Trudging up the northern mound off the beaten path, we slip past the roaming Daedra in our iron armour, perhaps thanks to the unrelenting storm all around. And that is until we hop a minor chasm. Now, with the demons alerted, we continue up the path, hoping the treacherous landscape will quell any pursuit. Peeking over the mountain, we see 2 spider Daedra, or Perthan as they're known, to our left, and the bonfire beacon just ahead. To our right, a spirit meanders about the blaze, and we discern this is one of Peryite's poor souls. However, we must first contend with the Daedra. Once all 3 Daedra are felled, we thank Akatosh for the defensive capabilities of our armour, making a beeline to the soul who, despite not having a physical body, clearly has seemed to suffer in this realm, and we make out it was once the Red Guard Kuan before reaching out. Upon touching the spirit, we capture his soul until we leave this foul place. Looking to the southeast, we find another bonfire and an axe-wielding Zivilli between us and the fallen tower. Behind us, embedded in the rock, we also locate a door to the Sightless Grotto, attempting to head below and hopefully around all of the Daedra. Immediately as we enter, we see to the north in the cracked volcanic labyrinth a spider Daedra meandering about. To the south, we find a storm Atronach, and as we pepper it with balls of flame, wonder if it believes it's simply the lava licking its hide, as it does not attempt to defend itself until it is too late. As we are distracted by the Atronach's corpse momentarily, a Daedroth pounces from the shadows. In the grotto's depths, We happen across a fleshy pod, which reveals a bounty of boots of shock resistance, 620 gold and a sapphire. Meaningless valuables, possibly in the realm of oblivion, but it's as if the Daedra hoard what humans covet just to spite them. Deep inside the cavern, we then see an ebony blade poke out behind stone pillars. As we creep past, to our horror, the Daedra discerns our presence. The Zivilai then bears down on us, calling upon a clan fear. We begin frantically searching the cave for an exit, dispatching the lesser Daedra, and finding the Zivilai has called upon another as they bar our exit. Desperate, we burst topside, chugging potions, only to come face to face with the very same foe. Cutting the Daedra's prized heart from its body and lifting its ebony claymore from the ground. We head northwest to the beacon to locate and free the spirit of the Nord Marin the Seal, who gazes despondently over the ocean of lava. Heading west, we precariously hop across the protruding masses, skirting the sheer cliff face and attempting to stay out of sight. It's then we happen across a stationary Daedroth. Stumbling into a second of the sizable reptiles, the first of the lizards fall. However, a Spydra Daedra joins the fray, and we retreat across the undulating rock masses and onto the safety of the high ground atop the bridge. However, the Daedroth teleports in front of us, and a well-placed arrow paralyzes the foe, with a final arrow fell its carcass into the lava below. At the edge of the broken bridge, we wait for the spider Daedra to show its hideous visage. To the southwest, we see the third bonfire blaze bright and two Atronachs between us and our quarry. So, we make the questionable decision to skirt the outside of the extrusive igneous rock, all the while lava licking at our heels. Safely atop the hill, we peer over the stone barricade and see a storm Atronach approach. Separating this spinning mass of stone, we then approach the soul of Miri, that attentively watches over the blaze. Freeing her soul, we see what she was overseeing in horror, as three corpses are burned in the inferno, the body in the middle speared through its rump, its hands cut off, and its face in a twisted grimace of agony, surely reflecting its final moments of torment. Looking for a way off this rock, we vault our way to the south and see an ominous tower in the distance. Planning for an escape, we descend the ridge to the lava river to be ambushed by a Dremora kin and its invisible ally, goaded into a brutal close-quarter fight to the death. Making our way southwest, under an arch of hanging corpses, we see Zavilli bar our path with no way around, and thus act accordingly, loosing our final arrows. Unfortunately now out of projectiles, our path ahead will be forged with grit, blood and steel. So we equip a Daedric claymore lifted off a previous foe and meet the closest Zavilli to trade blows. Seeing a bonfire to our right, excited, we mount the hill to discern a deadly full-plated Dremora Valkenaz who taunts.
Jin and Valkyrie! Open wide! Open wide! Yeah! Oh!
Before we can rest, a clan fear is set upon us and a Zavilli joins the assault. With the bloody battle ended, we search the Dremora and find his boots, cuirass and greaves. Knowing the danger ahead, we equip the otherworldly armor, an act we never thought we would ever undertake. To the south, down the steps, we then see the fourth spirit loitering, the soul in question being that of Ilvil Romaine. Freeing the Dark Elf, we enter the foreboding tower. A Dremora kin marcher, shocked to see us dressed as his kin as we rush past its summon and end its miserable life with a single heft of our unholy sword. Mounting the spiky elevator, we ascend, racing up the swirling flat staircase, only to be met with a spiderling and the all-too-familiar spider Daedra that follows. At the top of the tower stands a single blood and magicka fountain, a welcome reprieve from the onslaught as we heal up before searching for the final soul. Exiting the tower, we see a familiar plume of smoke in the distance. We dispatch its guard, a spindly arachnid strumpet, inspire a cacophony of death's debris as bones litter the base of the fire and a helpless soul of the Argonian, Tias, looks on in dismay. Freeing the Argonian, our quest updates. I found all the souls of Peryite's followers lost in oblivion. Peryite was to open a gate for me when they were found. I should head back to where I entered this realm. Dutifully making our way back to the central area, we find a welcome blue gate calling us to depart this accursed place and to hopefully never return to Mehrunes Dagon's plane of oblivion. Back in the land of the living, Peryite's followers resume their usual worship, and the nearby Altma, Miri, cheerily exclaims,
"We're back, thank Peryite!"
More like thank Dash. Speaking to the Daedric Prince of Order now that everything is just so, Peryite thanks.
You have returned my followers, mortal. The natural order is restored, and for this I thank you. Perhaps they have learned the folly of attempting to touch a Daedra prince. Take this with my blessing. May it bring you order.
A quest then updates. Peryite was grateful for my help. He's given me Spellbreaker as a reward. Spellbreaker is a unique heavy shield, and in other games, incarnations of Spellbreaker changed appearance based on their respective Dwarven/Dwemer tower shields. In Oblivion, however, its appearance has largely carried over from Morrowind. Boasting Reflect spell of 30%, Spellbreaker contains the second most powerful Reflect spell enchantment of any item in the game, surpassed only by the Mundane Ring. With our quest complete, we remove the taboo Daedric armour, lest we be hunted and feared by any decent folk in Cyrodiil, and depart, as Kewan states.
Our time must now be spent in prayer. Perfect order must be achieved.
Unfortunately, this is the only line uttered by all of Peryite's followers, so it's not really worth speaking to the rest of them. Now that's it for the video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Dark Lore, and if you want to support the channel in a more personal way, our Patreon is linked in the description. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, Traveller.